Hey guys, today we are going to do a special flame layout on a bagger. So what I'm going to do is do it on the front fender here. I'm going to show you some ins and outs, some tips on how to do it. On motorcycle parts I use 16th inch tape. On larger like cars or trucks I use 1/8 inch. So we'll go over the materials that I'm going to be using. Again, this is the way my flame layouts, this is how I do it. I've done well over 2,000 flame layouts on cars and motorcycles, mainly motorcycles. So this is how I do it. I have my own flame style. I change it around every once in a while. Maybe you can learn something watching this video. So I'm going to go along, show you all the materials that we're going to use. First off, all my motorcycles I use 16th inch tape, 6306. So on larger, like I mentioned, I use 1/8 inch. So this is the orange tape. I love this orange tape versus the blue 3M tape. 48410 is the part number. And by the way, I'll have links below. You can click on those and order on Amazon if you'd like. This is 1/8 inch green tape. I use this for real tight areas. This is 26343. So 1/4 inch, I go through a lot of this. So that is 3M tape. It's green, it's masking tape. So this is the same, it's 1/4 inch. Green tape, 26344 is the part number for that. I'll try to have links on all these below. And to fill in the gaps and everything, the spaces, sometimes we use the transfer paper, but that's on larger things. On motorcycle parts, it's real hard to do. So we just use 3/4 inch and 1.5 inch. We get these done quickly, and it seems to work the best. So I'll show you some tips along the way. So I'll be wearing a GoPro, so you'll see some up close shots of it. So of how I do it. You will also need a rack. So that really helps. So you don't have to have it, you can always just use a table. But this rack I have, I can tilt it to almost a little more than 45 degrees. These are old, I've had these forever. So you can buy these, or you used to be able to, I don't know if you still can, at Home Depot. I think Cobalt has them at Lowe's, the Cobalt brand. So I just took off the rollers, and we just put little steel bars on there and put foam pads on there. So they're pretty old. I got like 15 of these, so they work out great. So anyway, I'm going to show you the ins and outs and show you how I do a flame layout. I'll have this whipped out pretty quickly, and let's get going. Okay, this is our front fender we're going to do. As you can see, it's a dull black right now. What that is, we sprayed it black, clear coated it, 600 DA, and then we wet sanded with 1000 grit. So here's our tape we're going to use, 16th inch. Usually on this 3M tape, for some reason, once you tear it, and about a foot in, there's a section. Sure enough, right there, there's a section where they splice it together. So just do away with that. So always check for that, because I've done it before where you forget about it, you start laying it, and you come across that section and you got to rip it all up. So even though it's only a foot, you get into the flow of things and you got to take that off. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So check for that first thing, 6306 tape. So here's the first thing I do. Now this is going a candy coated black metallic, and we're going to spray the flames a silver, and then we're going to candy tangerine over everything. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. I plan on it. So for right now, we're going to start on our layout. You want nice flow. Always keep some sort of tautness to it. Keep the tape a little taut. So kind of press it down as you go. Now you will see that first piece of tape that I put on there is just a guide. And what I mean by that, this is the important part right here. I will pull that original tape up okay, as you will see, I pulled that up and I will go back and I will slightly alter this. Sometimes we shave the rivets on these type fenders, the bagger fenders. If you don't shave them, smooth them out. Okay, we get a little herky-jerky there. Makes it a lot easier without the rivets. So you always want to be tapered, nice and tapered. Start real thin on the edges. Now this has emblems. Sometimes I put one more lick going back over there, back around here. I'm not going to do that. This is emblem. You got the spear right there. So we aren't going to do this on this fender. So now what I do is go along. Now this is the tedious part because you want to do a good job because you don't want any blow through. It's good to outline it. This will help prevent blow through. You want to leave just a hairline as best as you can. I do this in basically 3 sections. So of course we got the, we're doing the right side right now. Now to make it a lot easier for you guys, what you can do, usually on motorcycle parts you want a little bit smaller flames versus cars, actually quite a bit smaller, is right in this area right here, you want at least leave a 1/4 inch gap. That will really help you out in the long run, because if you don't do that, anything less, you got to bring out that 1/8 inch tape that I mentioned earlier. And you got to fill it in that way, so it makes it a whole lot easier. Making at least a 1/4 inch gap. If you're comfortable with it, you can make it tighter. If you're very comfortable, you can even start doing crossover licks, where like this part right here would come down and over that way. But that's a little more advanced. It's a little bit harder. I'm just showing you the basics of how I do a flame job on my layout. So walk the tape around. So that's good to practice. That's good to practice even if, you know, even on just a regular piece of metal or something. Without doing flames, you want to walk that tape around. Get good at that. Might want to even do that before you do a flame job. Okay, right side done. Now what I do, I mark the top up here. You want about halfway. If you aren't sure about yourself, you can always measure. I'm sure I'm very close here. Now I got what I call my innies and outies. These are my outies. This is where the tips go outwards. I'm gonna, on the top here, I'm gonna do an innie. You want nice flow. Just like that. The oval's very close to the center. Make sure you push it down. Grab your 1/4 inch if you want to right now. You can do the whole center and then come back and fill in or outline with the 1/4 inch if you want to. Now what I do, I put another piece down here. You want it to be nice and tapered. Now you can make these flames thick, thin, whatever you want. So come down here, nice oval, walk it around and back. Use this right here as a guide so you don't cross over the middle. It's not exact, but it's close enough. It won't make a difference. If you go past halfway, the lick coming back the other way is just a little bit harder. I mean, you can still do it. I want these pretty symmetrical here. I'll get it. Not really symmetrical, but, you know, pretty balanced. So I'll come back here. So it's good to learn how to mask or tape forward and tape backwards. Come back. That's a good idea here too. That's halfway right there. So I had it very, very close to halfway. Okay, now we're going back the other way on the right side. Now we got enough room down here. I can pretty much go one more lick. I'll probably just swing it back, make them just a little bit shorter. Come back the other way. Now I'm left-handed, so you'll probably find you might be doing this the opposite of how I'm doing it. But as you can see, I pretty much make this like 3 sections. Okay, and if you notice here, I got these pretty close to the center right here. It makes it balanced, nice flow to it. So nice and filled too, so it looks real nice. Now here, it's a little tricky. It would have been easier if I just ended at this oval right here, but we added that extra one. So we may have to go just like this, follow this around. Always go past this edge right here, so you can come back. Just like that. Okay, now we got the other side. We'll be doing a lot of this coming back this way. So, basically what we have to do, what I do is mark here. I mark here. These do not have to be exact. These are just guides. I mark right here. I got this one, and this one. So basically, I want to make sure that when I come up for this one right here, straight across here, I want to end about right there. So I'll start right here. Okay, I'm a little bit high. Again, this doesn't have to be exact, but okay, that's very close. The next one, I want about right there. So now what I do, I turn this around because it will only lean so far on this side, so this side's open. So you can lean it a little bit farther. Let's straighten this up a little bit. Okay, I remember where that guide is. Okay, these tips don't have to be exact. In fact, it's better that they're staggered. It looks real nice. So this one here, I want the oval about right. I want that corner or that curve to be right there. Now what I do here, sometimes I will go ahead and do the oval. Use your fingers as a guide. About right there. I come down here, make sure it's nice and clean. You can even put a piece of tape right here if you, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. We'll do that about right there. That'll give you a guide to go by. Okay. As you can see, that's pretty much perfect. So now, every once in a while, you may have to move this one up if you do this style, this flame layout. So, which I'll do it anyway, just to make sure I have enough room. Okay. What we want to do, you got to make sure you're nice and thin there, tapered. Oval. Close enough. All these look nice. When the wheels turned on the bike and you got licks staggered like that, the flame tips, looks great. Okay, nice and comfortable here. Actually, let's mark. Okay, our oval is about right behind this rivet here. So it's always good just to use this tape as a guide, so always helps. Staggered. Up. This should be very close to the other side. Okay, there's pretty much our flame layout. You can take all these guides off. I always have my helper finish this off from here. Usually I do the outlining because I'm actually usually faster laying these out than he is taping them up. So I usually have them all completely outlined with 1/4 inch, and if they're too thin, I do the 1/8 inch, or if they're very thin, if they touch each other, you got to bring out the razor blade. Be careful when you pick at tape, you don't pick the edge there, because that will definitely show up when you are airbrushing. So I'm not going to go through this whole spiel of doing this tape layout, because it's basically the same thing. Repetitive. You just follow the outline. Pretty basic, but I will show you some tips on filling this in. So let's go back here. Okay, this is pretty much taped up. Bigger areas, you can go ahead and use masking paper. A lot of times we'll use 3/4 to pretty much fill everything. So, in one of my tips that I gave in one of my videos, never lay your tape on the edge of dust or anything that's dirty. because this is where it comes into play, especially this 1/4 inch or 1/16 inch. This is a little bit further away, but still, if you get any hairs on here or dust specks when you are airbrushing, that's where they'll fly off the tape, and especially hairs. No carpet, no nothing like that. Don't use carpet on your bench or matting. So basically you want to fill all this in. Kind of walk the tape. That's where it comes into play too. It helps you out. Walk it around like that. Walk it around. Push that down a little bit. Kind of catch these up to each other. Then you can run a piece of paper right there. Okay, as far as ovals, usually I got it down to, you know, I know how long the tape needs to be close at least. So push it down good. And here's the tip for you too, is when you get this all filled in, this especially works on these little guys here. Walk it around. It's a good idea. Oops, see, you gotta watch over taping too. So it's a good idea to go back and the center of each oval, when you're done with the fender, we used to use a different color tape, so we knew that, because when I have somebody else taping this up, I had the painter at one time when I had a painter. Right now I got a helper that does all this, but a different color tape to show that he double checked and all the centers were double checked. Because what happens is, let me show you on an oval here. Okay, like this here. Okay, when you go around like that, little bits of overspray will get in there. So push it down, add an extra piece of tape, and you're good to go. So if you're real good, you can always just outline flames like this. With the 3/4, but just to be safe, especially when two people's involved. I outline it for him. He takes it from there. He fills them in. Then we load them up in the booth, and I airbrush them. We all pull the tape off very carefully. That's one thing you got to watch when you pull the tape. Watch your fingernails, especially ghost flames. So once we get this completely taped up, this is our last piece. I wanted to show this piece. Make sure all your tails, like this one here, tear those off. Guide like that is fine, since that's all going to be taped up anyway. So we're good to go here. So I will be doing a video, or I plan on it, of airbrushing these. We'll pull all the paper off. I'll put a coat of metallic over there, and then I'm going to candy it and then clear it. So we'll show you what that looks like in another video. So just wanted to show you how I do this flame layout. So as you can see, we got all these in the booth. These are all set. A couple more parts over there. Those are getting done. So only part we aren't doing is just a tour pack. I'm doing the interfering and everything. I've already sprayed the interfering black. So anyway, hopefully this video helps you. So again, leave a space in between here, at least a 1/4 inch. That will really help you out. This one's about an 1/8 inch, so I'll be bringing out the 1/8 inch green tape. So I'll have links below that will help you. If you can't find this tape, you can order it online. So Turn this back around. So hopefully this helps you out. So be sure and watch the following video. So